And then there's yet another kind of lens to look at that. And here again, we keep talking about it, but this is just another different visual. So here's your what. So your what is your lane. Your where is your tribe. Your who, these are your personal strengths. I would encourage you guys, if you have not yet done any sort of personality testings, whether it's Myers-Briggs or behavioral testing like DISC or Caliper, or from anybody taken any of those kinds of, I'm sure most people have these things. Listen to that. Listen to how you're naturally wired. For example, any other, I'm an ENFJ in Myers-Briggs. Any other ENFJs here? Big time, okay? Okay, right? Got you with beeps, right? Okay. So what are we? Connectors, right?
Yeah.
We can't help ourselves. So for us, the business development thing is fabulous because it's really not about sales for us, right? It's relationship building. So we're actually really really wired to do that kind of networking stuff because our personality type is such, okay? Now the other side is also true. Anybody here an ISTJ? Just picking ones randomly. Or an ST anything. Okay. Are you in like either a technical or financial or project or what do you do? Sorry. Maybe you're an anomaly, I don't know.
No, I work in the association field.
Oh, you do? Yeah. What do you do?
Primarily, I've been at the executive level for a long time, looking over areas of education and membership things.
I'm guessing if you're an ST anything, you're probably very analytical.
I like the facts.
Yeah, I was going to say, like the data, right? You like the number of metrics matter, right?
Yeah.
You're that kind of person. Okay, but this is my point, right? So is that I don't want to get all deep into these personality tests, but different ones will yield, right, different results to tell you how you are naturally wired. Work to your strengths. So for example, okay, this is a really good example. So if you're the analytical type, okay, so it might be, which would not be for me, probably not for the three of us, I'm guessing. It might just be that the kind of consulting work that you would want to do would be one that would have a lot of either qualitative or quantitative research to it, where you'd be analyzing this, kind of the stakeholders and where the association's going, what have you. It might just be that you're that one to do those reports and give them all the detail. That's not me. I don't know about you two. This is not my thing, right? For me, it's going to be more about, hey, how can we strengthen our relationship building and all this kinds of stuff. Not that you wouldn't do that, right? But there's different strengths that you're going to have that somebody else wouldn't. That's why I want you to focus on who you are. So not only what kind of problems can you solve and what are your unique skills, but who do you want to be to that client? Because people, listen, particularly clients, they know whether you're passionate, right? Have you ever worked with a vendor? Have you ever worked with a vendor who's really passionate about what they do, who really cares? They're not just going through the motions. They're like coming from a heart place. That's who you want to be. You want to be that one where they're like, yeah, she believes in what they're doing. They want to serve. The work-life balance, traveling, commuting, all that stuff. Now, of course, for most of us, that could be your bedroom, funny slippers, whatever. You don't have to commute. But depending on the scope of your work, if you want to go nationally, well, a lot of us will probably stay local. But hey, you want to go national, that could mean some travel. That's something to consider. Okay, I just want you to think about that. Why are you in business? Again, we talked about this. What's your legacy? What is your legacy? What do you want to leave behind at the end of the day? The how can be a lot of different things. How do you want to work? Right? Do you want to work with other people? Do you need to kind of build a little network of folks where you're kind of in collaboration? Do you want to work on client site or not? Do you want to work in a fun, fluid environment with a certain kind of client or not? Do you want to work for a Google or do you want to work for a law firm? There are different kinds of cultures, right? How much do you want to outsource or subcontract? Do you want to take it? Like for me, I pretty much do everything by myself. I'm able to do that. I know a lot of people who know. They in order to literally do their work, like I have a colleague, she said she's been a membership consultant for a long, long time. And she's leaving it now, but for the last 20 years, she does more of the analytical, and then she has somebody else who does, like, I don't know, business, whatever. Like, they split up the work because, they're complementing each other's strengths. And then the how much. Of course, this is where the rubber meets the road, right? What's your fee? How do you want to be compensated? Hourly, project, retainer. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. What I will tell you is that, which should make sense to you, most clients want to do project and retainer, right, because they know what the set fee is. And most consultants want to do hourly. Okay. If you do the one tip I will give you here is if you are going to actually do the project or retainer work or kind of a fixed fee model, you've got to think about two little words. Ready? Scope, creep. Scope creep. Scope creep is where you guys sign on the dotted line and you say, okay, scope's 6 months, and I'm going to do ABC, 1, 2, 3, everybody's happy. Well, 4 months into the project, employer's like, yeah, but I have this other thing I want to tack on. Could you handle that? And you're like, because you don't want to say no, you're like, okay. All of a sudden, the entire scope of work has just mushroomed for the same price. So now you're working for 2.5 cents an hour. Does that make sense? That's scope creep. This is managing expectations of the client, particularly if you're going to work on that long-term project basis. Okay. So here are some practical tips for you to consider. Okay. So you have to, and I am not an accountant nor an attorney. You don't play either one on TV. However, when you start this concept, you need to think: do you want to be a sole proprietor, an LLC, or an S corp? I don't think anybody in this room is going to want to be a C corp. But these are pretty much your 3 options, and really why you would choose one versus the other, and your accountant can tell you. It has to do with your tax liability, and also just for overall protection. Okay. Personally, I chose S corp. My accountant said, "Oh yeah, small businesses should do." He's like an S corp believer, and the reason is because I am technically the employee of my company. So when it comes to paying taxes, I have personal taxes. I'm taxed at a lower rate because of my personal side, and then my rest of my income is taxed differently. In other words, I'm not being taxed at a high rate for the whole enchilada. The IRS breaks it down. I can't get all too much more specific than that, but definitely talk to your accountant about it. We talked about hosting your URL, right? So GoDaddy, Bluehost, whatever makes sense. So first, you got to find your URL, make sure it's not taken. Not only that, do a little bit of a search, right? Does anybody else have that name? And especially if they have that name, are they doing the same kind of business that you're doing? Okay, be thinking about that too. And I haven't talked here about the branding in terms of what kind of name you want. A lot of you are going to say Jones Incorporated or Jones and Associate. All right, a little boring. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm a believer in having a name that really shares your why, shares your value. Like again, Purposeful Hire, that's the name of my company, right? It says something, and you really want to communicate that through your company name. We talked about the website builders. Yeah, getting business cards. I mean, this seems very practical, right? You gotta get some business cards. Now, hosting your email. This has become so unbelievably cheap. Anybody know about Office 365? Okay, it has taken away the middleman. You no longer have to have a techie doing your server. This is Microsoft itself. I think I pay $20 a month. I think there's even cheaper ones than that. It hosts your entire email platform for nothing.
Google does it too.
Oh, do they have one now too? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Gmail specifically, or something else?
No, the Google Docs, the whole.
Oh, the Google Docs. Yeah. Exactly.
And you can get it from Bluehost if you pay for your website.
Great. Lots of options here. Lots of options.
What do you mean by hosting your email?
Hosting. So it's different. So you have your URL, right, which is hosting. Hosting your email, meaning Office 365, they manage it, right? Okay. So like right now, like if we're on the internet, I could log into Office 365. I wouldn't need my computer. I log into their server and my stuff would come up. Right. Backing up your hard drive. Again, super simple. There's a company called Carbonate. There are other competitors, aren't there, to Carbonate? Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. But anyway, again, $20 a month, or very, very simple. You can just everything's in the cloud. My point is, and it's so inexpensive. You just don't have to worry about things that much. Again, hiring an accountant, consider some legal support. We can go through a lot. I just wanted to show you there's a quick and easy way for you to start something up very, very inexpensively. Get your brand out there, and you can actually start doing your networking. It's not like what it was. You don't need brick and mortar, okay? Much to the chagrin of the commercial real estate field, okay? You don't need an office. You don't need staff. You don't need all this technological support. Everything's in the cloud, and everybody's making it so easy for you to set things up. Did anybody take a picture of this? Good? Okay. Some resources for you. So Life Reimagined, AARP has, as you probably know, has rebranded themselves in the last number of years. They're focusing on boomers now, and they're trying to help people with their next step. And Life Reimagined is a portal, and this is not just for starting your business. It's for anything. If you're a boomer and you're trying to reinvent, this is a great place to go. SCORE, I forget what SCORE is called, but something of retired executives. so these retired executives actually donate their time to help people start their businesses. Of course, there's the SBA, and this is the specific link if you want for people who are over the age of 50 who want to become entrepreneurs. Kauffman Foundation does work, Senior Entrepreneurship works, and then my big reveal. So I had an epiphany 2 years ago, almost to the day. and when I say epiphany, I mean a real one, and I'm a Gen Xer, okay, this is important you know that, Gen Xer, that I need to start a social venture to help baby boomers to navigate their next steps in employment. And so I'm launching a group called Boomer Works, and Catherine is my new business partner, who's a boomer. I'm so excited. And we're literally about to launch this. And this actually is going to be designed to support everything that I just talked about. Okay? It's going to be a database, an interactive database, number one, where boomers can connect with each other to provide mutual resources. The intent is also to have a site up a section that I'm going to call Boomer Gigs, where employers who want people to hire people on a project, part-time, contractual basis can come to this site and find folks, where boomers themselves can post gigs, right, for each other. We'd like to offer workshops and forums and help people to everything I just talked about, but like for real, right, to do it. Because we feel like this is actually needed in this market to address the current work situation, okay? If you were interested, I had put my email here only because this is actually, I've done this slide actually before Catherine and I started working together, but if you were interested in either volunteering or somehow, or even giving us input on what you'd like to see in a group like this, we're going to give Catherine's, or we have a BoomerWorks email address. So it's Catherine with a K, Katherine at, and for now the tagline, the URL is boomer-works.com. So that's the finish. She has a blog there. We don't have a full website up yet, just the blog right now, but at least you can reach out to Catherine, and we're going to be doing focus grouping, and we really want to know what's going to be meaningful for you guys.
So that's Catherine at
boomer-works.
Right.
.com.
.com.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And we're actually a little bit kind of out of time, but had we had more time, I would have you do your passiontivity, and please take a picture of this. I really want to encourage you to do this at home. Okay. Figure out what are your prominent gifts in your high quadrants. Could you see yourself using this gift full-time meaning within your own business? Who would most benefit from it and why? And what would be your first step to get started, okay? I also want to encourage you to talk to somebody about this. Now, sure, it could be somebody like me, that's fine, but no matter what, I encourage you to talk to somebody objective in your life, not a family friend, somebody who can see outside of you, who doesn't have a dog in the hunt, okay? It could be a professional person or not, but either way, I really want to encourage you to sit down with somebody who can help you pull out the gifts that are there, right? And help you pull out your passion and your reason for serving and allow you to serve in a fuller way, okay? So with that.
Well, let's do some questions.
Sure.
Because